There was a point in my life where I was sleeping in my car.
Maybe we start off with your origin story, because you weren't always Robert Love, Dr. Robert Love, guy with 5 million followers.
My first thing didn't work. My first thing was chocolate. And then I woke up one morning and I had like 1,000 followers on TikTok. I said, how did this happen? Welcome to the Brain Fit Podcast, where we share the cutting edge science on how you can improve your memory and live a happier, healthier life.
What does it take to go from living in your car to reach 5 million followers? This raw and revealing conversation, neuroscientist Dr. Robert Love pulls back the curtain on his unconventional path to becoming one of the most influential voices in health and dementia prevention. From sleeping in a Toyota Camry with only the Baka Bakita and Think and Grow Rich in his name to losing money on a chocolate business venture to walking up one morning with his first viral video. Robert's journey wasn't a straight line to success. But this isn't your typical entrepreneur story. We dive deep into the identity shifts and the behavior changes that actually move the needle. You'll discover why he prays before making business decisions, how human design helping identify his zone of genius, and the specific sacrifices he made to optimize his energy and output. We also venture into controversial territories, the role of psychedelics in high performance, the neurosciences of supplements like lion's mane and alpha brain, and why Robert believes ayahuasca might be the most healing medicine on planet Earth. Whether you're an entrepreneur struggling to find your platform, a high performer looking to optimize cognitive functions, or simply curious about the intersection of ancient wisdom and modern sciences, this conversation would change how you think about success, health, and consciousness itself. You weren't always Robert Love, Dr. Robert Love, guy with 5 million followers. I remember the days where you were just thinking about it. You didn't have anyone follow you at the time. I think it was 2019, 2018, about that time, right? You literally were just thinking about it at that time. So maybe I could go back to that origin story. What has you start on this path in the first place? And if you can be a little open about what was really going on inside your mind. Should I, shouldn't I? Am I the guy to do it? Am I not? That would actually be really helpful for those of us who may still be, not in the 5 million follower mark just yet.
Sure. So first, it's important to know that I'm a neuroscientist, but I'm also an entrepreneur. And so I've tried to share my talents and information with the world in multiple different ways. And so in 2018, I was working with children and adults with ADHD. I have ADHD. I'd worked in that field for a number of years, coaching children and adults, writing ebooks, and really trying to help people manage their ADHD symptoms, ideally with minimal prescription drugs. And it was at that time when I came home to my parents' home in Cincinnati, Ohio, and my mother was having surgery. And I was there basically to help around the house as she recovered. So my dad's a lawyer, still is, so he could continue to do his work, and I could help my mother around the house and keep things going well. And it was at that time that I noticed that my parents' memory was really bad. I was very concerned. And both of my parents, both of them had fathers with dementia. My dad's father, so my grandfather on my father's side, had Alzheimer's disease. It was very severe. And then my mother's father, he had dementia unspecified, actually wear his ring. My mother gave that to me Christmas a couple years ago. He had dementia probably from exposure to dry cleaning chemicals. He was a dry cleaner. He had to drop out of school, or he left school when he was 12 to start working to support his family because his dad left home. So my great-grandfather was not a very good father, but my grandfather supported his family, and in part he worked in dry cleaning chemicals. He got dementia. So essentially, both of my parents have dementia in their family tree, and I became very concerned. And I started doing research, and I found there's a lot of things that we now know, and this was 2018. There's a lot of things that could help prevent Alzheimer's disease. And at that time, I thought there wasn't anything to do. And that's what most doctors thought. And so I started reading and getting into the science, going through Google Scholar. And I learned a lot. I first got the sugar out of the house, and I got the bad chocolate out of the house. And then I had the idea, this is the entrepreneur in me. I thought, well, what's an easy way to prevent dementia? I know, make it taste really good. I'll make a really healthy chocolate. Nourishes the brain, and helps reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease. So it's going to replace all unhealthy chocolate with really healthy chocolate. So that was my first company. I actually started at my parents' basement that year. And with funding from them, they actually provided some of the cash for it. So I made healthy chocolate. And I used a healthy sweetener called allulose, which is now pretty common, but it's very hard to find then. I used stevia, monk fruit sugar, curcumin, lion's mane mushrooms, Ceylon cinnamon. I had matcha in there. I had all these superfoods in there, and it tasted really good, but I lost money. It's very hard to make money selling chocolate, certainly on a small scale. But that was my first business attempt in the world of dementia prevention. And then after that, I started with personal clients, coaching and helping them doing the behaviors to help slow down, prevent Alzheimer's disease, and then in reverse memory loss.
If you suffer from brain fog, or if you'd like to increase your mental clarity, I have a great supplement called Neuro Plus Brain and Focus Formula that can be really helpful to you. This is a combination of 7 powerful ingredients that are shown to improve memory, improve focus, improve attention, reduce brain fog, and increase mental clarity. I really like to take this in the afternoon if I'm feeling afternoon brain fog, or if I'm feeling tired. This helps give my brain more energy so I can continue to work during the day. This works really well in the morning with morning coffee and lion's mane. This also works in the afternoon alone or with lion's mane. Do not take this at night. It is very stimulating. It's very powerful. This can help reduce or even end brain fog in as little as 3 days. The average is about 2 weeks, and it comes with a 6-month unconditional money-back guarantee, so you can try it risk-free. So if you want to try this risk-free, go to robertlove.net and then click the link that says Neuro Plus Brain and Focus Formula.
And then I started posting every day online. I started posting on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook every day, something about how to prevent Alzheimer's disease. And then I woke up one morning and I had like 1,000 followers on TikTok. I said, how did this happen? Well, I made my first viral video. They had like 10,000 views. I said, oh my gosh, that was cool. And then a couple weeks later, I had another viral video. And then now I'm up to, 10,000 followers. I thought, oh my gosh, this is great. So I started recording, just doing a lot of research and recording a lot of content to try to share this message. And I was very fortunate, and I was saying the right thing at the right time. And thank God, I'm here because of grace. I made some good content, but it's because of grace that it caught on and it attracted people. And it was helpful to people. And then my channel grew really quickly. And that was really the start of everything, was daily posting on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. TikTok is the one that took off the most for me. I started really focusing on that platform. And then by January, I started posting more on Instagram and doing more reels. I wasn't doing reels, I was doing stories. And then I learned reels actually do much better. And my reels started taking off. Then my Instagram started growing, and that now it's 5 million followers somehow. I mean, remember, and by the way, you and I are friends from Burning Man. I remember the first year I kind of had a bunch of followers. I had like 50,000 followers at Burning Man. I was like taking time out in the day to try to post a video on there. And I was like just starting to grow. And I was like 50,000. I thought that was a lot. And that was a couple years ago. Now it's at 5 million. And I just feel really blessed that I get to share information with the world that helps people, that helps you live healthier lives.
Okay.
So you share the highlights, which I appreciate. However, for it to really be relatable for others who may not be so lucky right at the time, because you hit the hockey stick point probably a couple of years in, right? What was going through your mind when it wasn't really growing and when it was like crickets, right? Because that's the worst thing, that you put your heart and soul and sweat and tear into it, and it's crickets. You're like 2 views or 100 views, and
my first thing didn't work. My first thing was chocolate. It worked. It lost money. And not everybody's meant to be successful in every business. And so you do your best. And sometimes you got to be able to pivot and try new things. Not everyone's supposed to be on social media. Some people write books, right? I'll put out a book at some point. Who's this person? Noah Aval Harari. Puts out like a book a year now. He does some podcasts, but he's not a social media influencer. He's a writer. Yes, I don't do this. I will do this, but I'll do 1 or 2. I'm not going to do 1 a year. But Tony Robbins, he does events. He does books every once in a while, but he does events. He's not trying to publish, other people publish content for him. So not everyone's meant to do everything. I did that for 2 years. And I got investments from family. I got investments from friends. My friend from college gave me $10,000. And we were doing weekly calls. I was really working really hard on the chocolate. And eventually my chocolate machine broke. And I thought, you know what? Even if I sell this, I still don't make money. I need to try something else.
So that was the pivot moment when you say, oh, hey, this is a sign from God or whatever the case may be. And
yeah, I was making, and the product was great. People would try it. They'd say, I love it. This is amazing. I want to buy it. I'd say, this is the price. They'd say, okay. And they'd buy some. And even if I'd sell out, I'd still barely make a little bit. I thought, I can't charge enough to actually make this happen. I need to go into a factory, and that costs $50,000, $100,000. And I don't have that. I'm not going to borrow it. I'm kind of stuck here. And I was selling myself. making a mess in the kitchen and so forth. I had a great product, and a lot of people make good videos, and a lot of people have good content. A lot of people have good business, as in work, it helps people, but it's just not catching on. Not everyone's meant to be in every business, right? So I had to keep trying things until it worked. And I was trying 3 platforms at once. I was trying TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Oh, and I might have been trying YouTube as well. I don't remember. Imagine I was trying every platform I could to see which one worked. One of them worked. And then I kept doing more of it. And so if things aren't catching on, try to do better, try to improve, and test new things. I'm not an overnight success. I'm 42. You knew me when I had very little money and I had a very different business. It's taken me a long time to actually build a successful business, but my social media's done really well when I started posting daily on 4 different platforms. I think it was 3. And then finally something worked on one of them, and I kept doing what worked on that one. So if you're just getting started, whatever it is, whether it's social media posting and education, by the way, if you're going to do that, I recommend really making interesting content that helpful to people. Don't make content you like, make content other people want. I pray to be able to listen to what God, the universe, spirit, source, me to do wants for me, and to help me let go of things that I could do. I could work with XYZ person. I could branch off into this other business, and I could make a video about something that's kind of unrelated. But I get clarity when I pray. And I love this. I don't know if you've seen the most recent podcast with Andrew Huberman and Jordan Peterson.
You told me about it. I started doing it. I hadn't finished yet.
Yeah, it's great. And then in it, Andrew Huberman, a neuroscientist, who's probably the world's most famous scientist as of today for lay people, he prays before every podcast. And I find that to be tremendously helpful.
I would like to thank our sponsor, Dr. Love's MagnaSleep. This is my new magnesium supplement I designed with Dr. Kareem Zamori. This is the best magnesium supplement out there in the market. Let me explain why. First of all, it's got the right forms of magnesium. It's got magnesium threonate, which is really good for brain health. It's a smaller form of magnesium that can cross into the brain. Magnesium glycinate, very absorbable, great for overall body health. But it's also got magnesium malate, which is good for the muscles, and magnesium taurate, which is good for your heart. So it's got multiple forms of magnesium that are great for your overall body. And it comes with vitamin D and boron. Vitamin D and boron work with magnesium to really improve bone health. So that makes magnesium more valuable to your bones, all those 3 together. And it's got shilajit, which increases absorption. So I designed this to be the very best magnesium available to you today, and it is on sale right now. This is great for improving sleep, but also improving mood, reducing stress and anxiety, improving bone health, improving muscle health, improving energy function. So many benefits of magnesium, and you can try it absolutely risk-free. It comes with an unconditional 6-month money-back guarantee. If you don't absolutely love it, I'm happy to refund your money, but I want you to try this because so many people get a great benefit of magnesium, and this is the best magnesium available. So if you want to get this on sale, click the link below or go to robertlove.net to try it risk-free.
If someone's struggling to make a decision about what to do in their lives as far as their entrepreneurial adventures, please be open to the power of prayer and then listen to or receive what happens. It's not always as obvious as a broken chocolate machine. Sometimes it needs to be that obvious, right? Sometimes it needs to be just hit over the head, obvious, this is not right for you, to get that message. But I think prayer is the answer.
Yeah, if you can double click on that a little bit, that would be very helpful because you're a scientist, very mental, very cerebral person. And then the cerebral process is let's make a pro-con list, let's create some mental model, a business plan as a way to help making decisions. In this process, I don't know when you started, maybe after you started listening to that podcast with Huberman and Peterson, how is it different and why do you advocate for that?
Well, I was praying before then, but I do it now more. I kind of, in a way, I feel that I got permission to pray almost any decision, including business decisions, that Dr. Huberman does that. And so I was doing it already, but not to the extent that I do now. And he's a role model of mine. I look up to him. I think he's doing excellent work. And so hearing him say it gives permission for me to do it. And I do believe in God. I do believe in spirit and source. I got a bunch of religious books up here, from the Quran and the Bible to the Bhagavad Gita. I used to sleep with the Bhagavad Gita on my side. And there was a point in my life where I was sleeping in my car. I was moved in with a girlfriend and she broke up with me and I didn't have much money and I was living in the back of my Toyota Camry. Or I would sometimes sleep outside in the mountains.
What year was this?
This would have been when I first moved to Boulder. This was 10 years ago. So 2013, 2014. And I had the Bhagavad Gita and Think and Grow Rich in my backpack. And that's what I'd wake up in the morning, I'd read the Bhagavad Gita and Think and Grow Rich while I was like in the woods with no money, living in my car. I don't know how helpful it was, except it kept me in a good, positive mood and allowed me to say, hey, you're alive. You just woke up in a beautiful mountains. You had a good night's sleep. And now you're reading this inspirational book and you feel good and excited for the day. This is pretty good. I went to Thailand and I had a large blood panel done. And I went to a longevity doctor and I said, hey, look at my stuff. Tell me how I can improve. He said, hey, your testosterone could be better. I said, what can I do? He said, go to bed by 11. 10. He said 10 would be better. I said, I don't think I can do 10. He's like, well, get to bed by 11 versus 1, and you'll actually have much better energy. So that kind of idea of making small improvements and sacrificing things that were holding me back. So thankfully, I didn't drink alcohol. I drank a lot in college and grad school, but I wasn't drinking a lot. But if you drink a lot of alcohol, maybe think, how can I drink less so I can have better energy and better sleep, right? What are the things that are slowing you down and how can you let go of them to better improve your health, energy, and well-being? And that'll improve your work, your entrepreneurship, and the quality of your life. So I've been continuously letting things go. Here's another one I'm just working on right now. I eat super duper healthy food, like really healthy food. And I love my dessert. I love my healthy raw vegan chocolate cake.
If you or someone you love has Alzheimer's or another form of dementia, I want you to know there is hope. Alzheimer's is preventable and it is even reversible. In fact, we are reversing Alzheimer's in my medical clinic here in Florida. My partner and medical director is Dr. Josh Hellman, a medical doctor trained at Harvard who specializes in preventing and reversing Alzheimer's disease, and we are reversing Alzheimer's in our patients. If you'd like to learn more about working with us to both prevent Alzheimer's and even reverse Alzheimer's and reverse memory loss associated with other forms of dementia, we would love to hear from you and send you some free information so you can learn what we are doing and see if it's a fit for you to come down and work with us in our clinic. We also work with other clinics around the country to help patients both prevent Alzheimer's as well as to reverse Alzheimer's and reverse memory loss associated with dementia. So if you'd like to learn more, go to brainpowerclinics.com. Go to brainpowerclinics.com and then enter your information. We will send you some free information, and then we hope to work with you if we can be helpful to you to help you prevent and reverse Alzheimer's disease.
And so right now, I'm trying to eat less and less of that. So I have more room for healthy food. I like my dessert and I want to eat as much of it as I can. And I justify and say, hey, this is pretty healthy and you're an adult and hey, you did a hard workout today. You eat as much as you like. But if I eat too much, I'll then feel slow and lethargic for about an hour or two. That's expensive, right? If I sacrifice an hour or two of feeling good, an hour or two of productivity, that's really expensive, especially if you tally that up every day. And so continuously go of things that are not serving my highest purpose, continuously making sacrifices for the future. And it's mostly letting go of things that feel good in the short term, but aren't good in the long term. Eating a nice big piece of raw vegan chocolate cake feels really good now, but about 15 minutes after I feel full and then I got to sit down and then I sit on the couch and watch The Simpsons or watch Rick and Morty until I feel better. Not a good thing to do every day when I could be working or meditating or reading or doing other things. So that's the idea, is finding the things that are slowing me down or stopping me or things that I'm doing that aren't feeling good. It might be alcohol, it might be drugs, it might be smoking. Whatever it is that's slowing you down, can you let go of that or can you scale that down so a healthier version of yourself can emerge? And I'm still doing that today, right? I've been sleeping at 11 o'clock basically this month. I've been working on that. Thank you.
Job,
and I just saw Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson's so regimented. I'm thinking, how can I be more regimented with my meals so I feel even better, right? So now I have alarms for when I eat. That's a little extreme. It's a little strange. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I don't know how long I'm going to do it, but since I've been doing it at the same time every day, I feel pretty good. So sleep is so important. And if you don't sleep well, you can actually see it in the blood. You can see more plaque in the blood just after one day. And it's so important. And I didn't get that. I didn't get that for a while. And I'm still learning that lesson, right? I'm still working on prioritizing my sleep even more. I'm doing this right now. I'm trying to finish eating dinner at 5 or 5:30, stop drinking liquids by 8 so I can fall asleep at 11 and not wake up and use the bathroom and wake up 7:30 feeling really good. That's like the mission that I'm on, is to still continue to optimize my sleep. And so that's something that it's surprising how big of an impact it has on so many different things.
I want to share one tip with you. It's
Please.
fundamentally shifted how I sleep. So before this discovery, I could only sleep about 6 hours on average. And then after I got this widget, I was able to sleep really high quality sleep as
Widget.
well. So I don't know if you heard this smart mattress topper called 8 Sleep.
Yes, I have heard of it.
So I didn't believe it because my friend's been telling me for years. They're like, oh, I have 8 Sleep, has really helped me, has an alarm, has all these things. I'm like, I don't really need good, right? I have Aura Ring, I track all my sleep,
I got that.
but I
Yeah.
couldn't move past the 6 hours. I couldn't move past to 8 because ultimately between 7 and 8 is what they recommend. And I just couldn't do it. Doesn't matter how early I go to sleep, how tired I get, how much, all the supplements I take, I just couldn't do it. 8 Sleep is unique. It discovers something interesting, which is our body is really sensitive to temperature, right? And then throughout the night, the temperature shifts up and down based on whatever your sleep cycle is. And then they will essentially measure it, the temperature change of your body, and then dynamically shift the temperature of the pad. So that actually helped me extend from 6 hours to now 8 hours.